position! Ugh. Sorry, I was still drinking. Damn. Ah, feels good to actually get a full 9 hours of sleep for once. Who'd have thought sleep was actually important? Not me! From the corner of my eyes, I saw you walking down the street, happily waving at me. I don't see Natsuki anywhere, so I assume she must have made her way back home or went to school.
Good morning!
Morning. Still okay?
Yep, you?
Yeah, first time I've had a real good night's rest in a while.
Hey, me too! Who would have thought sleep was actually important?
Holy! That's literally what I just thought a few seconds ago.
Oh, but I was joking.
Right, so was I. Anyway, let's get going. Without spending too much time on the previous topic, we make our way to school. We don't talk much, and there's a subtle sense of awkwardness, though it doesn't feel wrong or anything. Best way I would describe it would be as if you're walking with your crush. You don't really want to say the wrong thing, so you enjoy each other's company. We arrived to Sayori's morning class ahead of schedule, so we decide to take a seat on the nearby bench. She pulls out her phone and begins to scroll around. I can't help but feel a bit disappointed that she's doing that. Not that I like to sound bitter or anything, but someone being on their phone while you're with them isn't exactly the best.
Look at this cat! Isn't it the cutest?
Oh, yeah, I do like me some cats. Sayori scooches a bit closer to me and puts her phone into view. Something you want to show me?
Oh, no, nothing particular. Just didn't want to leave you feeling left out.
Ah, makes sense. So you continue scrolling past various funny videos, cat pictures, and some random inspiring quotes plastered on some nice backgrounds. Notably, she doesn't really seem to have much else on her feed. Wait, what was that one? Sayori scrolls back up to a funny image that makes me chuckle out loud. How could you miss that one?
I didn't really find it that funny. I can tell when something isn't that funny, so I just skip over it.
Fair. I guess the things I find funny might be different from yours.
True. Let me show you a funny picture real quick. I thought it was hilarious, but maybe you won't.
Sayori spends a few seconds looking for the image.
Here, take a look at this one.
Sayori shows me an image of a 4-panel comic. The main punchline of the joke was that a man was wearing a t-shirt, a shirt saying, "I help blind kids," only for him to be shown pouring bleach into kids' eyes. Oh jeez, that's dark, but I smiled anyway. That isn't a bad thing, is it?
So you did find it funny. No, I don't think it's bad. The joke is clever and dark, but I mostly laughed at the clever aspect.
Well, I give you that. It was pretty funny. You never struck me as the type to appreciate darker humor like that.
You think so? Well, that's pretty neat.
That's our cue. Sid and I both got up and stretched a bit, with Sayori letting out a loud yawn as she does so. Sleepy?
Nah, this class is just so boring. I get sleepy just thinking about it.
Well, don't fall asleep in class. You don't want to end up like me. Suddenly gives me a friendly punch on my arm before heading into class. Too soon? I'm gonna scratch my head as I head towards my own class. The rest of the school day passes by pretty uneventfully. Sierra and I did meet up for lunch as usual and had a normal conversation, which is probably the best thing I could have hoped for, honestly. Before entering the club room, I noticed Monica walking down the hallway. Hey Monica, late again. Hey, from my perspective, it doesn't seem like you're doing any better. This isn't about me. Before Monica gets a chance to retort, I immediately slide the door open and rush inside. And now Monica, our beloved club president, is late once again! If I was just a few seconds earlier, you would have been the last one. And you know what we do to late club members? Show him, Sayori. Sayori smacks me lightly on the head. Ow! Hey, since when was this a thing? 15 seconds ago. I want to get rid of this new law. Me too. If I knew being smacked was a punishment for being late, I wouldn't have joined this club. I'm only kidding. I'm just messing with Aragon. That makes more sense. You're very lively today, Monica. It's nice to see.
Oh, am I? Yeah, maybe it's because today is the day of our group lesson.
Group session. My voice feels a bit weird right now.
Oh, right. That is today, isn't it?
What's wrong? Not ready to talk about things today? You don't have to share anything if you don't feel ready to talk about it.
Right. Don't feel like we're pushing you to say anything. You can even talk about fun things if you want. Well, it's not that. I mean,
It's sort of like that.
it's just like
Group therapy makes it sound kind of weird, if you get me.
well, let's not call it that. In fact, let's not call it anything. We're just a group of great friends getting together to talk about life. Yeah, that helps.
Well, with that out of the way, shall we get started? Let me make some tea for everyone. Monica and I arranged 5 desks in a small circle, with just enough space for all of us to fit in each one. Yu heads to the back to grab her usual tea-making gear and prepare some... Oh my ma! Chamomile tea. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. I know that tea. It doesn't sound that different at all in German. It's just Natsuki reaches into her bag, pulls out some brownies, and places one on each of the desks. Sayori, seemingly having planned ahead for the session, brings out a tissue box and places it on her desk.
You know, just in case we get a little sad.
As Natsuki finishes placing the brownies, Yuri's tea is just about finished. She carefully pours it into small individual teacups and carries them all on a tray towards us. We all help her out by grabbing our own teacups and placing them on the desks next to the brownies. We now take our seats and make ourselves comfortable. So, I tap my fingers on my desk and look around. Who wants to go first? There's a slight pause before Sayori raises her hand up.
Me, I'd like to try and go first. Just bear with me, okay? This seems easy at first, but it might get pretty hard as I go along.
We all share sympathetic smiles as Sayori prepares herself to talk. Sayori clears her throat and lets out a sigh.
Where to begin, huh? Well, for starters, I'll talk about some of my recent favorite things. For example, Natsuki coming over to hang out was really fun. She's a great house guest.
Nah, you're just saying that because you let me use your oven to bake you stuff.
Maybe so. But I seriously do appreciate your company. It's always a good time to hang out with you. And Yuri! We don't get to hang out often either. That could change. That should change, don't you think?
I guess we can. But I don't think I'm anywhere near as fun as Natsuki.
Nonsense! You're just as fun, but in your own special way. Which is kind of where I'm going with this. I've been trying to find the time and effort to hang out with my friends. It's not always easy to do that. But I got to hang out with Monica this past weekend. That was a very rewarding time for me. And I hope it was for you too.
Sayori reaches over and touches Monica's hand, making her jolt slightly. Just not just a touch. Well, I'm glad you feel that way. I really am. Sayori's smile quickly dissipates, yeah.
Dang, I was hoping to talk about good stuff first, but talking about good stuff first would have made this easier.
You don't have to say anything if you don't feel ready to. Just like you said, you can only talk about fun stuff.
Right. But I feel like I'd be doing myself a disservice.
Sayori slowly raises her hand and rubs it slowly against her neck.
I can't show you yet, but my scar is sitting right here. Every night. Every day. It's a constant reminder that I've hurt myself and in turn, all of you. It's still very hard. It's hard to keep telling myself that everything is okay. Sometimes it feels like it isn't. I never thought I'd express myself in front of all of you like this. But that's a good sign, right?
I think it is. Being able to talk about your true feelings in a group like this
takes real strength. I'm proud of you.
I am too. I'm really glad you're here, Sayori.
So am I.
You might already know how I feel, but I'm truly happy to be able to call you my best friend. Seeing you get past all of this bit day by day. Simply put, it's really inspiring.
Thank you, guys. It's funny. I normally wouldn't even be able to take these messages to heart. But I actually believe in them this time. It's a really nice feeling. Anyway, I think that's all I'm ready to share right for now. Sorry if I already brought down everyone else's mood with my silly problems.
They aren't silly, dude. Don't downplay everything you've been through and everything you've accomplished. Natsuki's right. Don't feel like you're bringing down our moods. Personally, I'm actually quite happy that you're talking about some of this stuff with our friends. The sign that you've really improved. Sayori sighs and stays silent for a few seconds.
You're right. I'll keep trying my best. Glad to hear that. Would you like to go next, Natsuki?
Yeah, I guess you aren't really giving me much of a choice here. I guess I can start with fun things too. Lately, I've been making more of an effort to hang out with you guys outside of the club. It hasn't really been easy trying to step away from a group of people that I thought were my friends, but you guys have really helped me along. Speaking of though, Natsuki looks towards Yuri. I can't forget about you, Yuri. I think you're one of the greatest friends I've ever had. I know you fight sometimes, and I know I can be a real pain to deal with, but jeez, how come you have to be so nice to me? Yuri kinda sorta deals with me on a daily basis. We've gone to the library or cafe together sometimes, mostly just to talk about our differences in literature. And admittedly, I've learned a lot just by being around her. So thanks for being such a great friend, you nerd! Natsuki gives you a friendly punch on her arm, making her jump up in her seat slightly.
Of course, it's only because you're such a great friend to me too. You've really helped me appreciate the parts of myself I've never really been too fond of. I don't really know where else to go with this. But I'd like to start by going back to you, Sayori.
Me? Yuri looks down at her left arm.
She isn't really... I can relate to not being able to show your scars to the people you trust. I've done things to myself that I can't even begin to imagine actually saying out loud. For as long as I can remember, doing these pitiful and harmful things to myself was how I imagined my anxieties. But standing here together talking about this has made me realize I'm finally moving away from the storm. In other words, I feel like I'm getting better at expressing myself properly without fearing judgment. And I find myself not relying on these harmful activities as much as I used to. Yuri turns towards me. Erigan, you've been a massive help on this journey. I'd rather not get into the details, but if you hadn't done what you did, I don't think I ever would have made the effort to stop doing these things.
Yuri turns to Natsuki before I get a chance to say anything.
Natsuki, you really are my best friend. I don't think I would have found better ways to cope with my anxiety if I never worked up the courage to become your friend. I see a lot of myself in you, and I guess that made me want to be your friend.
Yuri then turns towards Monica.
Monica, I want to personally thank you for creating the literature club. Without the club, who knows where I'd be. And even if I risk sounding like a broken record, I also wanted you to know that I completely forgive you for all of our past grievances.
Monica sighs and looks away for a bit.
I have to be honest. Speaking to all of you like this is the last thing I ever saw myself doing. It's hard for me to even conceptualize the idea of talking about the things I wish I could talk about. The best way I can put it is this. She pauses. Her eyes shift directions a few times before she speaks again. It feels like I'm losing my sense of self. I'm sorry if that's not a satisfying enough explanation for all of my strange behaviors recently. Like I said, it's hard for me to want to explain the full reason. I don't think I ever can. That's okay. You're doing something amazing by telling us just a small part of how you've been feeling lately. You made the right move. No. that's not it. I will never be understood. It's the only thing in my life that I've been certain about. I said before that I've always valued the harsh truth of a sweet lie, but I'm going to need you all to trust me on this one. I will never ask for anything again if you honor this. I will never be able to explain the truth to all you. And that's the end of that. The entire room remains incredibly still. It feels like Monica dropped a major bombshell right on top of us, yet there really isn't anything concrete to actually think about. Sarah places her hand on Monica's shoulder. Like I said earlier, you don't have to share anything. Even if that means taking it to your grave. I'm just happy that you decided to talk to us about how you're feeling. Even if it's only a glimpse. I'm very glad too. As am I. Even if we won't know the full story, it's really nice to know the reasons behind some of your weird decisions. I'm sure I can speak for everyone when I say that we'll all be here for you. Absolutely. We all got things hidden away in our heads that we can never talk about out loud. Kinda what makes us all human. We've got your back. Nothing will change that. Monica looks away from the group and stays quiet for a while. Monica slightly waves her fingers and sighs. Thanks for listening, guys. And just like that, Monica seems just about done talking. I guess it's my turn. I don't really have anything specific to talk about either. At least nothing I'd be ready for anyway. But I can say by saying that the semester has been... I pause for a moment once I look into Sayori's eyes. They seem to glisten as she waits to hear what I have to say, and follow up with a warm and encouraging smile. Follows up. I guess it's time I bit the bullet on this one. It's been very stressful. Probably the most stressful semester I've had in my entire high school career. I'm sure I don't really need to go into all the details. But one thing we can all relate to is the amount of work that's piling on us. Not to mention, we're all graduating soon. So the motivation to continue pulling through isn't as high as it used to be. That's very true. I agree. I find it difficult to work on these assignments knowing I'll probably graduate without having to do them. But it feels wrong to not do them, if that makes any sense. Right, but the difference is my grades aren't very good. Don't feel bad or anything. It's 100% on me, and I'm already improving quite a bit on some classes. Well, you're no dummy, academically at least. What I mean is that you've always come across as one of those guys that isn't secretly super smart, but is just... lazy. Yeah, exactly. Right. Normally deny that, but you're both right. I am a pretty lazy guy. Not sure if that'll ever change. But I am seeing improvement, so that's good for something, right? I'm sure things will turn out well for you in all aspects of life, not just school. Thanks, guys. Huh. This group talk stuff is pretty neat. I knew it was a good idea. Thanks for letting us do this today, Monica. Oh, of course. I thought this was a great idea too. Keeping things inside your head for so long can really be overwhelming, you know? I feel like I was just one club meeting away from snapping. Monica smiles warmly for the first time since we sat down, completely contrasting what she just said out loud. Only share a few concerned glances with the others before clearing my throat awkwardly. Well, it's almost time to go. Let's pick up these desks before we leave. Fix up? Have I said that properly? Not much else is said between the five of us outside of a few jokes about Yuri's unexpected strength while lifting the desks for Sayori wanting to take the uneaten snacks. This really was a nice thing to do, though. I think I'd be down for more days like this where we just talk. Calling a group of therapy does feel a bit superfluous, but I'm not really sure what else you'd call it. Once we finish resetting the class, we all say goodbye and I head home with Sayori for the first time since last week. I yawn loudly. Well, that was fun, I think. I'm glad you liked it, Aragon. Just between you and me, my therapist is the one who gave me the idea, actually. She first suggested for me to attend some sessions with people I didn't know, and I really didn't like that idea. And well, the rest is history.
Well, right. Well, good on you for making that decision. Anyway, you want to come over today? I feel like making grilled cheese sandwiches. To my surprise, even though I quickly realized I shouldn't be, she shakes her head.
I have a therapy session today, remember?
Oh. Ah, that's right, you do. Well, have a good time then. I'll be here if you need anything. I form a fist with my hand and reach out for a fist bump. She smiles as our fists slightly collide with each other.
See ya!
With a final smile and nod, we separate our hands and turn in opposite directions towards our houses. Phew, it isn't easy. I don't want to rush things, but deep down I'm very eager to get back to how we used to be. It's funny, I don't really find myself wondering if she hates me or if she's still mad at me anymore. It really just feels like we're starting over, and I think that's a good thing. %39%. I find myself feeling unusually lighter than I normally do. Am I dreaming? Am I dead? No, I'm still alive. I'm at school? I must be dreaming. Whose voices was that? It sounds like it came from the classroom next door. I try to listen closely, but I can't get any closer to the wall. My body feels stuck. I can't seem to move at all. I guess as I hear another voice echoing through. I can barely make out what she's saying. I try even harder to move. I wince in pain as it feels like sharp blades and heavy punches are hurled at my body. But I manage to move a bit closer. Maybe I'm a little much bit cast today. I'm not sure if this is like Natsuki. I'm just using a bit more of a lighter voice. Wait a second. No, this can't be. I pushed forward even harder than before, despite the pain. Damn it! I begin to feel a warm liquid stick onto my clothing. I look down to see that my blazer now has small spots of blood. Oh. I'm unable to focus on the pain after hearing what sounded like me. You think so? I can't have noticed anything about her. They're talking about Sayori. This is that day. The day I told her. Collapse on the floor from exhaustion and begin to listen to a conversation that doesn't even feel like it happened. Just to remember my state of mind back then. I was doing everything I could to get you away from Sayori. But naturally, her depression just made you more concerned, didn't it? I mean, I'm also friends with her. And I also care about the well-being of my club members, you know? I smiled to myself. I really was getting you away from her, wasn't I? I lied through my teeth without a moment of hesitation. Maybe I'll try talking to her myself. I place my arm over my eyes. Are you sure about that? Erkan sounds different than he does now. He's less thoughtful, less self-aware, which is pretty ironic considering the circumstances. I still don't understand why you're so different. What changed? What did I do wrong? I listened on and more of the conversation with each other in line, bringing back a slew of memories that I had tried to forget about. I took every ounce of my being to appear like I cared. It did not. Once I realized that everything was just meaningless. The problem is, we're not just looking at her actions in Act 1 and the way it contrasts after Sayori's death. We're talking like the way she speaks in Act 3 about Act 1. That's, I think, my major problem. That when you look at Act 3, we realize, yes, Act 1 wasn't all that light at all. Her behavior. I only did what I had to do. Didn't I? My past life echoes. I probably shouldn't say too much, but Sarah talks about you more than anything else, you know? Huh? God. It was hard to not reveal how much I truly knew.
About her, about Yuri and Natsuki, about the world around me. Every single moment I spoke to Ericana was a moment I could speak to you. I think at some point I truly did convince myself that I hated her. She became nothing to me in a split second. Everything she'd ever done for me meant nothing, was nothing. She wasn't real. I never truly hated you, Sayori. I didn't mean to jump to conclusions, so you should just forget about what I said. I tried to talk to her, so try not to think about it for now. Alright. I moved my arm away from my face and quickly stood up as I began to hear footsteps echoing, getting closer to me. Wait a second. If my memory serves right, Sayori was towards the back of the room that day. My eyes widen as I realize I'm about to relive the moment I pushed myself beyond redemption. Oh, hey Monica. Sorry for not participating as much as you'd like me today. You know me. Rain clouds can get a little intense sometimes. Right about that. Sayori, it really does pay me to be the one to tell you this, but... Sorry, I'm trying to find the right words for this. I wouldn't want you to take it the wrong way. I don't think Aragon feels the same way about you. Huh? What do you mean? You know exactly what I mean. You've told me about your depression, how your depression can be a burden on people. Well, yeah. As your best friend, I wanted to be the one to warn you that going after him would be a waste of time. I feel like this makes sense for Monica to say. This absolutely could be what she said. Another awkward pause, as I expected of me. I've seen enough to know that even if he were to reciprocate your feelings, it would be because he feels bad. But you should be more realistic about this. He only sees you as a friend, and your depression isn't something he'd want to deal with in a relationship. You're right. You shouldn't blame yourself, though. You can't control how he feels. And just between you and me, I think he's got his eyes on Natsuki at the moment. But oops! Don't tell I told you. It'll be our present vice president's secret. Tears have flown from my eyes, and I only noticed them now. You didn't deserve any of that, Sayori. I didn't mean to say any of those things to you. But at least it feels like this is actually something that definitely could have happened. That's a completely valid interpretation of what happened. I feel like when I would think about what she said, I feel like this would be something that I also think of. I didn't mean for you to fall so far that you'd consider taking your life. Okay, good to know. You were my best friend. But I ruined all of it for my own goals. The footsteps fade away as I now begin hearing very quiet and soft sobs. I didn't even realize I made you cry. Even if I did, it wouldn't have changed anything. You weren't real. And yet, after everything I've been through, only now I'm realizing that the ends never justified the means. It took so much of my strength to push away the relationships I formed with them. But I knew it was working at the time. So I kept going. I was far enough ahead that I knew there was no turning back. I wonder, even if I had achieved my goals, would it have been worth losing everyone that cared about me? The club I had built, the bonds I formed. I'm sorry. Transition to the next day. So yeah, I didn't really expect this book to be somewhat of a comedy, but it was a nice surprise to be sure. Personally, I was waiting for things to get really intense. I wanted to see a detailed derailment of a man's psyche as more evidence about his life being broadcast is revealed. But I'm not opposed to a more lighthearted take on it either. Oh, brother! Is Yuri dragging into our boring conversations again? Natsuki walks in happily and places her book on the desk. Actually, I was the one who initiated the conversation, so if you're gonna throw some shade, throw it at me. Yeah, I'm only teasing you guys. Sorry. I'll hop in on the conversation too. So, what do you two think about it? Sorry. I
personally think a story like this would have made a great isekai. I know, right? I kept thinking about how awesome it would be if it was. Get this. Same character, same scenario. But in his past life, he was a teenage girl! No. Why a teenage girl? I think it would have been just fine if he was the same guy. I thought it was a good idea for an isekai. This is a girl part 2. Hello everyone! Sorry to be late once again. Wait, where's Sayori? Huh? You didn't come with her to the club? Well, clearly not! You know what I mean, dummy. I walked with her to school this morning and to her first class. I also sat down and had lunch with her. We haven't really walked to the club together though. I checked my phone and I don't really see any text messages from her either. She still has to be in school though, so I can't see her in any real danger. Snap out of it, Aragon. Quit thinking like this. Let's go find her together. She can't be too far. Sure. Monica, do you mind? Not at all. Shoot me a text if you find her, okay? Gotcha. Okay, so where do you want to look first? Well, I've got an idea. That's why I asked to come with you in the first place. Ah, what is it? Without saying anything more, Yuri walks off towards the girls' bathroom and... Ah, I understand now. I guess the bathroom is some silently agreed upon area to go to if you're feeling sad. I don't relate. When I felt sad, I always just went outside and then walked in circles. You know what I hated? The fact that I couldn't just scream. Because I didn't want to draw any attention towards, like, my spot. She walks in and stays in there for a few seconds before returning. No sign of her here. Let's try the library. Excellent idea. You and I walk quietly together towards the library. I wonder why Sayuri didn't let me know that she wouldn't be coming to the club today. I mean, during our normal routine, it didn't seem like anything was on her mind. But then again, I wouldn't put it past her to be showing me a side that she wants me to see. I glanced towards Yuri. Hey, I hope I'm not out of line when I'm asking about this, but I wanted to know if you wanted to know how you're doing. You know, with the whole... I gesture towards the arm, trying my hardest not to come across as insensitive. I don't... Right, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to push you past any boundaries like that. No, it's okay. I just wasn't expecting you to bring it up so abruptly. Yeah, that's kind of what I apologized for. Don't feel bad. It's only natural that you'd be curious about it after some time has passed. At this point, I do feel like I can trust you. You're a good friend. I'm somewhat able to see that you wouldn't judge me. Not that I initially thought, anyway. I just want to make sure that you're okay with hearing me talk about this. You're going through a lot right now. I'd hate to put more depressing topics on your mind. Hey, I'm the dummy you asked, you aren't I? I'm here for you. Well, I've told you before how I haven't exactly stopped doing it. That was true for a little bit. But yesterday I did something I never thought I'd ever do in my entire life. After our group talk, I asked Natsuki to stay behind and walk with me on our way home. I decided to tell her about my problem. It wasn't easy for me to do, considering that I never planned for anybody to have found out about it. I just figured that after hearing Natsuki's story last week, and how hard that was for her, I should return the favor. I'll spare you the details, but she ended up helping me with this. Yu rolls up her left sleeve, rolls her left sleeve down, and shows me neatly wrapped up bandages over where her cuts would be. Oh wow, that's just really nice of her. I didn't ask for her to do it for me. She just sort of acted. Before I could even react, she ran up to the nurse's office, grabbed bandages, and helped me wrap up my arm. I didn't even get a chance to explain myself. Sounds like something Natsuki would do. Though, how did you feel about it? You rolls her sleeve back down. I'd like to say that these bandages are going to stop me from ever doing it again. But it's never really that easy, is it? I shake my head. It helped though. My cuts are healing, and it feels good to be able to say that. I've been looking for other ways to manage my anxieties. Just a few months ago, even a conversation remotely close to the one we're having would not have been possible. But I feel myself improving day by day, and that's where I currently stand at the moment. It's great to hear. I'm really happy for you. Keep up the good work. I'll do the same as well. I'm happy to hear that. Let's keep looking for Sayori. We're almost at the library. Right. We continue down the school hallways and finally make it to the library. Smile. Empty. This is the perfect time of day to come and read for a bit. There is nothing else like an empty library and a good book in hand. Right, but no Sayori. Maybe I should just give her a call. Good idea, but let's check on one more place before we do so. Sure, where to? We return to the hallway now, and I allow Yuri to take the lead. We walk a short distance away and up some stairs to the 3rd floor of the building. I never really would have guessed she'd be up here. Sure enough, right through the window I can see Sayori looking towards the city with a somewhat somber look on her face. She hasn't noticed us through the window, so she must be really lost in thought. Hey, so, do you want to go out and talk to her? Why me? Well, I figured that you knew where she was, and that she would probably prefer to talk to you than me right now, and, Yeah, but you know I'm not very good at social interactions like this. Well, I don't even know if she even wants to see me right now.
What are you two blabbering about? And what are you even doing here? Didn't you guys get my text?
No, none of us did. That's why we came looking for you.
Wait, really? That can't be right. I just sent...
Sayu pulls out her phone and suddenly looks shocked.
I didn't even hit send!
So this was all just a silly little misunderstanding then.
I hope I didn't make you guys worry about me or anything. I'm so dumb.
I mean, we just wondered where you were, but it wasn't too concerning. We just thought it was strange that you didn't let us know beforehand. And hey, forgetting to hit send happens to me too. No biggie. It's no biggie.
Well, if you say so. Since you both are here, do you want to join me?
Sure. Let me just let Monica know so she isn't stuck way...
Ooh, she's waiting up for me. Then maybe we should just go back.
Actually, I'll head back on my own and tell them you two just wanted to talk. I'm sure they'll understand. Wait, are you sure? I glance at Sayori, who smiles warmly as soon as we make eye contact. Well, Sayori seems to think so. Besides, I would feel like a third wheel anyway. Not that I don't enjoy my time with you two or anything. I should just stop talking and leave now. So walks over and tugs Yuri from behind.
It's okay, Yuri. We understand what you mean. No need to push yourself. You can head on back if you'd like, but we'll be here in case you change your mind.
Thanks, Sayori. I'll see you both tomorrow then. Tomorrow then. Have a wonderful evening, you two. And with that, Yuri gracefully walks down the stairs and disappears from view. Phew. So if I look all exhausted, we went around the school trying to figure out where you went.
I see. What made you decide to check the roof?
It was Yuri's idea. Not really sure why though. She just said to check here first before calling you.
Smart girl. Here, let's head back out. The weather is wonderful.
Sure. The weather again. As we walk outside, I'm met with a gentle cool breeze coming in from the north, signifying that winter is just around the corner. Autumn is definitely my favorite season. Autumn is definitely my favorite season. It was just, I hate autumn.
I can see that. You're definitely a brown leaf kind of guy.
Yeah, brown leaf. Wait, what do you mean by brown leaf?
I don't know. That's just what came to mind.
Right. Well, what's your favorite season? I have an idea in my head, but I want to know if it's correct.
It's spring!
Bingo! I got it right on the money. Mine is just summer. Really, in autumn, my seasonal depression is the worst. I'm easily annoyed. I hear these fucking leaves crunch beneath my feet. Winter, my seasonal depression is still there, but not as bad anymore. But good God, I hate walking around these like frozen ways because like it's never really just like snow. It's always ice. And I can't just constantly walk on ice all the time. I'm trying to get to places. I can't just sneak everywhere. And I'm obviously still easily annoyed. And then comes spring, and it's definitely one of the better ones. But it's just, ugh. I have like an allergy against pollen, and spring is always the worst. And I can't breathe, and I get nosebleeds every morning. Every time I wake up to nosebleeds, and ugh. Summer isn't perfect. I get the fact that some people really like hate the heat and stuff, and I feel like I hate all the wildfires and stuff. That's like my biggest concern every year in summer, like wildfires. But like out of all of the like in every year, in every season, I'm concerned about something. And like winter, I'm also like, in autumn, I'm pretty concerned that something will hit me on the head if I walk close to a house and something falls off the roof because of the wind, or because like ice falls off the roof. In spring, I'm like afraid every morning that I'll die from my nosebleeds in the middle of the night. It's just really bad and sucky. Has gotten a bit better, but not enough yet that I'd like say, wow, spring is awesome. Besides, I must admit, I'm really just a person who can handle warm weather better than like cold weather. And I have the cutest clothes for warm weather. And like spring is absolutely not warm enough. I don't know if it's the area I live in or Germany in general, but spring hardly offers the opportunity for me to properly be warm. Besides, I love the ocean. And I can only swim in the ocean if it's warm enough. And like I said, spring is not warm enough. And I don't really like just like indoor pools. The ocean is the best pool. I love waves. I love jumping in waves. I love swimming through waves. And even then I must disagree with Natsuki that it's hard to write anything negative about the beach. Good God. Drowning. Poisonous fish. Poisonous jellyfish. Weird streams in the water that could pull you away. The hot sand.
You didn't just wait for me to answer just to change your choice, did you?
I placed my left hand over my chest and raised my right hand. Nope. It's where I get spring. Why? You don't believe I could get that?
I don't know. But it's true that I love the springtime. All the flowers blooming, butterflies flying around. It's beautiful.
To be honest, I see more flowers in summer, but that's probably because I go more outside in the summer. But most of my friends agree that spring is the best time. Most of my friends agree that the way that the jump between like friends winter and spring, when like in spring things start to become alive again, and they love that feeling. And I can understand it. I can understand that there's probably an appeal for all the seasons. I can't fully see it in autumn. I guess pretty leaves. If you like that, yeah, that's sure. I can see it. I've seen some nice artwork done with like leaves from like autumn that were like then pressed and then put into pretty shapes. So I can see that. But like generally I just every season has its downside, and summer just has the least downsides for me.
The cherry blossoms are to die for too! I love going with my mom to see them bloom every year.
I can agree with that. I'm not too big on spring, even though it is beautiful. Sarah points at my face suddenly.
Right, it's because you have spring allergies, right? Yeah.
Jeez, you remember that?
Of course, silly! Remember how funny it was every time I brought you a flower? You'd sneeze up a storm.
Okay, it's not too that bad extremely, but yeah, ugh. I've literally, oh my god. I know during Corona, in those years, I loved wearing the mask because in spring when I wore the mask, it kind of helped me a little bit to not sneeze all the time. It did not save me from my nosebleeds, but whatever. There was so much pollen, Sayori!
Allergic to pollen?
Alright. And what are you allergic to?
I don't know. Probably some random food or something.
I wonder if I'm a bit allergic to cherries, because when I eat them, I my neck gets all scratchy. Outside of when they're cooked, then they're not that scratchy anymore. I used to think I have a cat allergy, and I do react to some cats, but I don't react to all cats. I'm pretty sure it's I don't know if neutered is the right word, but I think it's related to that, because after the cats that my mother and her boyfriend have, after they get neutered, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Then I started not reacting to them anymore. Before, and yeah, there was a bit of that. I guess I just don't like cat hormones.
But I sure hope not! Imagine going to a fancy restaurant, trying some exotic food you've always wanted to try, and then VAM! You find that you're allergic to tartar sauce!
Yeah, I can definitely see how that would be kind of scary. But normally people recover from stuff like that, right?
Oh sure, assuming you aren't too far away from a medical services and the resulting allergic reaction blocks your airway and stops you from being able to breathe.
Right. Worst case scenario, I guess. You want anything from the vending machine? I'm super thirsty.
Sure. Give me a strawberry soda, please.
Ooh, but what if you're allergic?
Well, I know I'll be fine because you're here to help.
I chuckle as I walk over to the nearby vending machine and place a few coins in. I type in the code for a strawberry soda first, wait for it to pop out, then push the button for my lemonade. Here you go. One ice cold strawberry soda.
Thank you!
We both sit down on a nearby bench and crack open our cans. I can see why you came up here. This is great.
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. It's how Yuri knew to check up here before you called me. A long time ago, back when the club was barely starting up, you and I were hanging out on our own. This was about the same time Monica started acting a bit strange. Nothing close to how she was acting a few weeks ago, but she started acting a bit distant. Anyway, the club meeting was cancelled that day due to Monica not feeling very well, so you and I ended up hanging out together. She explained to me that she can feel a bit overwhelmed at school, so she'll come up to the roof to get some fresh air. I remembered what she said and decided to try it out for myself. And yeah, as you can probably tell, it really is pretty great.
Yeah. Good find on you both. If our school had a spot to go on the rooftop, I probably would. Because like I said, when I feel overwhelmed, I do I don't go to the bathrooms. I go to get some fresh air. And rooftops offer fresh air. Bleh. Sorry, my bad. Yuri, she's pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah, she's so pretty, right?
My lawyers have advised me to not answer this question.
Don't be silly. I'm not going to get jealous or anything. I think she's pretty. It's just kind of an objective fact.
Well, yeah, if you put it like that. You all are. Scratch my head nervously as Sayori winks at me. How did you two meet? I know I asked you about you and Natsuki, but what about Yuri?
Now, that one is a bit interesting. Monika was looking for more potential members to invite to the club, and you was one of the first people we saw. Monika seemed to rush Yuri into things though, so I feel like we were one wrong move into scaring her away. Anyway, long story short, you and I were able to have a conversation about the kind of books we were into and stuff. I wanted to read a book together, but before we could actually sit down to do that, Monika stopped the meeting early because she had to go home. But Monika forgot that she had appointed me as vice president that day, so decided to let the meeting go on.
Ah, very clever of you.
So you and I sat down and read a bit of her book together. There was, of course, a misunderstanding between us. She thought I was being forced into reading with her because she thought I felt bad, which wasn't the case at all. I ended up feeling pretty guilty after that, since I had thought I made her uncomfortable. But we eventually came to understand each other.
Probably not.
Yuri wasn't really used to someone being into her interests, so she was already very distrustful of me from the beginning. Ironically, Monika canceling the meeting was the best thing that she could have done that day. It allowed her and I to talk about things without much issue. We came to understand where the both of us came from, and that was that.
Main game Yuri and Sayori's relationship is very different from side story Sayori and Yuri relationship. So they most likely never bonded like that. So probably not. But after all, who encouraged Yuri to try and speak with Sayori about it? Who is currently in her self-aware state, like not really up for really helping all that much. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure, no, they never bonded like that. I really don't feel like they ever bonded like that in the main game, to any extent.
I'm not really too sure what would have happened if that meeting went on as normal. Whether she would have ended up leaving, or if we would have grown even closer than ever. But that's just me wondering what could have been. I'm just glad she decided to stay in the club.
I'm assuming the saying is still a bit different, but given the way that Yuri is in the main game, also around Sayori, especially in this talking about this, no, they probably never resolved that issue. If they ever really came to fully notice that there was this issue in the main game. I see. Didn't know you two had a bit of history before I arrived.
I think a little bit with everyone. Just not as much as I would have liked. But hey, like I said, no point in worrying about that. We're a lot closer now than ever before, and I think that's what matters most.
Sorry. Yeah, it's nice what you've been able to do for this club, Sayori. That goal of yours. Making everyone happy. It sure is a noble one. I just hope you haven't forgotten about your own.
Trying not to.
The both of us look away from each other and towards the sky. Clouds again. You know something?
What?
This doesn't hurt as much as it did the first time. I mean, it still hurts a little bit, but you know what I mean.
It's also late in the day, so less intense sunlight equals more time to find cool clouds.
You said it. Spend a few minutes looking up at the sky together, not saying much. There's a somewhat melancholic feel to this moment. I get a sinking feeling, thinking back to the argument we had not even a week ago, and yet here we are, seemingly right as rain. Hey, how are you feeling? You mentioned how Yuri comes up here when she's feeling overwhelmed. What about you?
Well, you know how intense the rain clouds can get. I wanted to try something new for myself. I think it's working.
That's good.
Hey, did you ever have any crushes throughout high school?
Now there's a random question.
Sorry, I'm just curious.
No worries. Let's see. I debated telling about Natsuki for a short moment, but I feel like she might have already known from this a while back. Still, considering how close that event was too. That I'd rather not bring that one up. You know, I did have this one crush a few years ago, but boy, is it embarrassing.
Well, I don't make the rules, Aragon. You saying it's embarrassing means you have to tell me now.
What? No, absolutely does not.
It does too.
Sayuri slaps my arm playfully. You don't get it. It's really embarrassing.
Fine. If you don't feel comfortable talking about it, I won't push it.
Thanks. Okay, so it started during my freshman year.
Go on.
There was this transfer student from overseas that I had my eyes on for a few months. We get along pretty well, and my attraction to her only grew as time went on. She agreed to date pretty quickly, which I thought was pretty suspicious, but I went along with it because I thought, hey, she said yes, so that's a good sign. Not to mention that she seemed pretty interested in me for a while. But anyway, the week in which we planned to go out rolls around and poof, she cuts off all contact with me. No texts, no phone calls, nothing.
Oh, Aragon, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's really mean of her.
Kinda didn't think it was at first. I kept feeling like I was the problem. It really got my self-confidence. I stayed home from school for like a week. But as if it was fate, she ended up transferring back to her hometown, and that was the end of that. In retrospect, it was kinda silly to let it affect me that badly.
That wasn't silly. You were heartbroken. That's understandable.
Well, I felt silly. After that, I found it kind of hard to express my feelings to other people.
Oh, that makes sense.
What do you mean?
Well, do you remember some of the things we talked about throughout high school?
No. Was I supposed to?
I guess not. They were very short conversations, but you always seemed very dismissive and distant.
Oh.
I worried about you a whole lot, Aragon. But I think it's nice to hear about why you always felt that way. It helps me understand you a bit better.
Sayuri smiles warmly. I didn't want you to worry about me, Sayuri. As dismissive as I was to you, I just didn't want you to waste your energy on me.
It wasn't a waste! Is it that hard to believe I cared that much about you?
Yeah, it actually kind of was. Which kind of makes us the same, doesn't it? We both looked down from the sky at each other intensely.
Do you want to head back down? It's getting a little late, and I wanted to meet up with the others before we went back home.
Sure, let's head back. You'll be walking home on your own today?
Yeah. Or with one of the others.
Alright. I walked with Sayuri the whole way back to the club, dropped her off, and decided to head home without talking about much else. It doesn't really feel like I pushed past any boundaries today, so I can't help but wonder why Sayuri decided to cut our conversation short. I mean, it was getting late, she wasn't lying about that. But I wonder if I went too far by saying that her and I were the same. The things you both went through are very different, but I can understand that you were like, the feelings in that aspect were kind of similar. It can happen that you kind of just like say, like, that it's like the same. It's not the same, but it's similar enough to be somewhat of a comparable thing. Maybe I did. I think it's fine for manga to have filler if it means it gives an author a break and let them refresh their memory. Well, what if the filler is a real slog to get through? Like, wouldn't unnecessary content ruin people's desires to keep reading? I'm inclined to agree with Monica. Most novels I've read don't really have anything that could be considered filler. Really? Because filler can be quite different depending on what we're talking about. Filler in manga or anime can be different from a filler in a novel. Are you referring to scenes that could be seen as unnecessary, but actually act as a transition from one major scene to the next? Yeah, exactly that! That makes much more sense. That makes much more sense then. So I imagine it takes skill to write a filler scene that isn't boring or uninteresting. Imagine having readers quit reading your story just because it gets to the juicy bits before it gets to the juicy bits because your filler was boring. Yeah, I can actually recall a few stories I ended up dropping despite hearing how good they get. Never really knew why. Until now, I guess. How is my relationship with filler? To be honest, I feel like filler... I don't want to be like one of these nowadays people, but I feel like people sometimes consider something that's actually important to the story filler. Because just because something isn't filled with conflict doesn't mean that something isn't like important to the story. Like sometimes you just have to show your characters do things together to show how their relationships are, or how they're changing slowly, or just generally show more about the characters. Those are actually important points, and sometimes scenes that are filled with conflict constantly don't allow us to like properly see what these characters are about and how their relationships are and how they're developing. And I feel like people at this point call this filler too, even though I feel like those are just very important plot points that aren't extremely conflict centered. And not just necessarily like exactly plot points, but just like important for the story still. Because the amount of times I've seen like more Western media recently, but that's probably because of the weird, like there's a weird limit on like episodes I've noticed sometimes. There appear to be like very few episodes you get to make like a story, even though the series would need more episodes. And that's very obvious because sometimes it's noticeable that they're jumping from conflict to conflict and not allowing the story to breathe and let the characters just do character things and showing us what they're all about outside of stressful conflict. And I feel like that's quite damaging for a lot of stories actually. And I've just noticed that there is, first and foremost, nowadays, quote-unquote, the uprise of calling, like, things filler that actually are important for the story to allow it to breathe and not feel completely rushed. And also there's an increase in series that would need more time being, like, shoved into, like, very few episodes. And that's really annoying because there are moments where the characters just need to interact with each other without it being extremely conflict-centered in that moment, at least. The club door suddenly slides open.
Hey guys!
Oh, so Yuri, I didn't think you were gonna join us today.
Actually, I wanted to see if you guys would be down for a girls' night.
A girls' night out?
Finally?
Sounds fun. Where would we go?
Shopping!
Shopping sounds fun. We could get ourselves some outfits. I am in desperate need for a wardrobe change.
Sounds good. Let's do that. Anybody know any good malls?
There's a mall close to where I live. We can go there. Sounds good. Lead the way, Yuri. The girls and I grab our things and get ready to head out to the train station. I didn't really think about it, but I'm actually looking forward to this. I mean, there's a part of me that's morbidly curious as to what could happen when I enter parts of the game that aren't supposed to exist. But I'm also looking forward to having a normal hangout with my friends. Friends. We arrive on the train just in time. Natsuki and Yuri take seats next to each other across from me while Sayori sits next to me. So, what are you looking to buy at the mall? That isn't an awkward question, is it? It probably is.
Nothing too flashy. I could use a sweater actually. Cold weather's coming soon.
You're right, it is. I already got a long sleeve, so I think I'll go for something else.
Cool! I'll help you look for an outfit! It's kind of crazy how none of us have gone shopping with each other, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's School has been keeping us busy, I guess.
Yeah, and plenty of other things too. But let's not think about school right now. It's chill time.
True, true. Hey, do you think we could consider this to be part of club time? What for? Nazco's across from us.
She makes a good point. We have to keep track of the amount of time that each member stays in the club meeting.
Wait, you do? We do? No, we don't.
But really, what do you mean by counting it as part of club time?
You know, I'm not too sure what I meant by that.
Well, it has been a while since we've hung out outside of the club.
Yeah, I guess that could be it. Suri happily relaxes in her chair and closes her eyes. I decide to whisper towards Natsuki and Yuri. Hey, should we tell her that the mall is only 5 minutes away?
I'm up!
So much for whispering. I wanted to say I've never had a girls' night out, but I actually have. Just most of the time, it's not just a girls' night out. But there have been times where I was only on the girls and out and about. Whoa. What's wrong, Monica? Never seen the mall before? I mean, yeah, of course I have. I just haven't been here in a very long time. You guys know how busy I can be. I don't usually come here either. It really is quite grand to see up close.
Same! The last time I was here was when I was a kid. I came in with Aragon, actually. It sure does look nice, though.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not a fan of like more futuristic houses. Or like malls and stuff. But I mean, houses also make sense because like when it comes to like... I sometimes just go around outside and look at like neighborhoods and houses that exist because I just feel like some houses are just so beautiful to look at. However, I'm just not a big fan of like extremely futuristic houses. I'm more of a fan of like... I don't know what to call it. I'm not too familiar with house designs, but futuristic is definitely not my style. But yeah, sometimes I just walk around and look at like houses and how they're built and how pretty it is and how it would be like to live in them. And what I also really like to look at are like old houses. And then I take like photos from all around them because I just think they're so pretty. And I'm scared to go inside, but I'm very good at fantasizing. I'll just pretend I am inside and I'm exploring the old house and what like... And like, I just imagine finding like things from the old... Like from the old people that lived in there. From the old owners. Yeah, I think that fits. Okay, instead of making me look like a shopaholic, let's just head inside already. I'm nearly knocked off my feet as we step into the interior of the mall. It's absolutely bustling with people, so much so that it's kind of overwhelming. The game is capable of this? Was it always capable of this? No, there's no way. This is insane. I wonder if they're going to explain how all this is happening. If like the VMs maybe like mixed up or something. Like the VM that was like side story VM kind of. But like only the club from like the main game like suddenly got put into like the side story VM and like somehow after Sayori's death, or like not after Sayori's death but like given the trace back, Monica was like trying to like salvage everything after Sayori's death. Like trying to revive her and stuff and then decided it was easier to delete it and it seems like she broke something beforehand and maybe she just broke it and just managed to get them into the other VM and like only like all of their memories of course are like from the VM they were in but now there's like this VM which also allows them to break free from the script. This is insane, isn't it? I love it here! Ooh, yeah, it's pretty nice. Indeed. The large crowd can be a bit overwhelming sometimes. I hate bumping into people.
You're the tallest one here, though. You can be our eyes above the sea of shoppers.
I'm not that tall. Well, in any case, we're wasting precious daylight. Let's go find the clothing store or something. Leave that one to me. I know the perfect store. The four of us begin to track through the... Oh my god. Aforementioned sea of shoppers. I find myself struggling the most. Not really used to large crowds like this. Without thinking this, I see her trying her hardest to avoid bumping into people, with not much success. Meanwhile, Sayuri and Natsuki kept breezing through the crowd, almost as if it wasn't there. Wait, Sayuri! Natsuki! Don't leave us behind! You gotta keep up with us, Perez! But the store isn't going anywhere! It's no use. Yuri looks increasingly uncomfortable as we continue walking. Right. Time to be a club president again. I'll latch onto Yuri's arm and pull her closer to me. There. We'll stick together like this. I'm not a fan of large crowds either. This isn't necessary, Monica. You don't have to do this. Despite your statement, her arm latches onto me just a bit tighter. It's alright. It's for my own sake, then. Sure. Let's go. You and I walk at our own pace and follow the flow of the crowd. His breathing hasn't slowed down since we started walking, but it also hasn't sped up either. Which I guess is a good sign. Even my own anxieties are fading away with every step we make. I nearly forgot about my own situation, which is a much greater issue than whatever it is I'm currently worried about right now. Funny how that works, huh? We arrive at the clothing store Natsuki suggested. As I step inside, I'm greeted with a wave of upbeat music, matching the energetic vibe that seems to be present through the entire store. There's an assortment of rags lined with colorful skirts and various other garments, arranged neatly and organized by size and style. Two mannequins adorned with what I would only assume are the latest fashion trends, stand tall in the middle of the store. I can see why Natsuki chose this place. It's totally her. So, what do you guys think? See anything you like?
I've got an idea to make this fun! Let's all choose our outfits, try them on, and then surprise each other with them.
I like the sound of that. Let's do it! The three girls went off to various aisles, each containing clothes that suit their respective personalities. I looked around the store, trying to find something simple yet comfortable to wear. A tank top wouldn't hurt. I also spot some jeans that looked to be about my size. I suddenly stop after I get a massive sinking feeling while looking at the jeans. This isn't real. None of this is. But I'm acting like everything is okay. Why? I look around the store. Nobody's looking my way, so I simply wave my finger in the air. Nearly halfway there. Place the jeans bag down on the display, feeling a bit lightheaded. I have to get out of here. I quickly turn around and...
Hey Monica! I saw this and wanted to buy it for you! It seemed nice!
Oh. Thanks, Sayuri. You didn't have to.
Yeah, but I wanted to!
So extends her hands to reveal a delicate golden necklace with a pendant in the shape of a music note. It sparkles under the lights of the store, completely grabbing my attention. Oh wow, this is really nice. I should to take it. As I reach out to take it, I trace my fingers along the edges of the music note. I'm reminded of my love for music, a passion that I've still held on to despite everything I've been through. As the necklace rests in my hands, I'm somehow reassured, almost as if it were an actual reminder of the one true love I still have in this world. I smile as I begin to feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Serves the closest one to seeing the part of me that I've struggled to keep hidden all these months. Thank you, Sayuri. This means the world to me.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. The music note reminded me of you, so I figured why not. Anyway, I gotta keep looking for my outfit to wear. See ya.
I would say you wander off back to where she came from. I smile as I place the necklace around my neck. I let out a heavy sigh. Maybe this is why I still act like everything is alright. It's because of you, Yuri, Natsuki, Aragon too. Despite it all,
There's a part of me that really misses being a normal girl. Shopping, going out, gossiping. I feel like I've lost all of that. I turn back around towards the jeans and check the size again. Yeah, these are good. The unexpected warmth of Sayori's gift begins to counterbalance the darkness in my mind. These jeans. It's all the experience, in fact. This is me reclaiming just a small piece of normalcy amid all of the chaos in my head. I allow myself to feel the material in between my fingers, taking in all of the feelings that are associated with doing so. I guess in some way, this mundane act of buying a new outfit is some small act of defiance. I know I'm not okay. I know that things could very well get worse before they get better. Assuming better even applies to me. But I can still take steps to finding peace, can I? I don't know. Without thinking about it much further, I pick out a simple white tank top and head into the fitting room. While trying out my outfit, I hear the other three all come in at the same time and enter a stall. Girls? Is that you?
Yep! Everyone, when you're ready, let's reveal our outfits at the same time! Gotcha!
Smart Sayori's excitement. She seems genuinely happy to be here with us. Thinking about what she talked about yesterday in our group therapy session, she might really be trying her hardest to just get out there and see the world. I can't really imagine what it would be like for her, having what is essentially a near-death experience caused by her own actions. But I still can't help but succumb to that darkness. The idea that this is all just predetermined code playing itself out like it was always meant to be. But that can't be it either. Here I am, dressing up in a brand new outfit that I know for a fact didn't exist in the code previously. No, to this dressing room, the clothing store, this whole mall. None of this is supposed to exist. What is this reality I've found myself in? I finish putting on my tank top and adjust my hair and bow. I take one look in the mirror. Looking good, Monica.
I assume you talking to yourself means you're finished getting dressed.
Oop, yeah.
Same here. Yuri, you done?
Yes. I'm a bit nervous now. I don't really know if this is my style.
You literally just picked out that outfit though. I'm finished too. Ready whenever you are. Alright. 3, 2, 1.
We all step out of the stall at the same time, revealing all of our outfits to each other. You know what? I'm gonna save that. That's the Baka t-shirt beneath it, or like Baka shirt, I don't know.
Whoa, look at you guys! Monica, your outfit looks really nice. Natsuki, yours looks great too. No need to be shy, Yuri. That sweater suits you perfectly. Yeah, you look great, Yuri.
Do you guys really think so? Yeah, I think it suits you. Thanks, guys. You all look great too.
Your outfit looks great, Monica. You look fantastic in it.
You think so? I just wanted something simple. Nothing too flashy.
Yeah, but you can make any outfit look good.
Well, thanks, I guess. I assume we're going with these outfits then?
Yeah, let's go pay.
Natsuki and Yuri head up to the front of the store to pay, but Sayori stays behind. What's up?
Your arm. What happened there?
I look down and my heart skips a beat. It's pretty faded now, but the scar is still there. From the day I hurt myself. Oh! That? It's nothing really. Just a little mishap while chopping some veggies a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay then.
Sayori pauses for a short second.
Let's go catch up with the others.
I let an internal sigh as I completely forgot about what I had done to myself. You'd think I would have made a better effort to hide it from everyone. Nothing else I can do for now. At least it looks passable as a small injury. The first decide to wear our outfits out and pay for them at the front counter.
Pick up a few shopping bags, place our uniforms inside, and walk out of the store. So we leave the store, immediately notice that the large crowd from earlier has basically vanished and transformed into a few groups of people. The orange sunset serving as indicator that the mall will close soon. Well, this was a fun time. This was a great idea, Sayuri. I think I'm speaking for everyone when I say we need a day just to ourselves. I just wondered, when do you, like the entire shopping mall closes? I don't know. In our nearby larger shopping mall, there's a few shops that do close around some time. that made no sense. But yeah, I forgot what I wanted to say. They all close at different times. Exactly, that's what I wanted to say.
I agree! We should do this more often.
Indeed. I had a good time with you all, even though it was a little bit overwhelming.
So you're here. Well, except for the overwhelming part.
Glad you even had a good time. Let's get going then. So Yuri and Natsuki walk ahead. Yuri taps my shoulder. What's up? Well, I wanted to thank you for today. You didn't have to guide me through the crowd, but I don't want you to think I didn't appreciate it. I don't usually like when people take pity on me, so forgive me for sounding like a bit of a hypocrite. Oh, I just wanted to help my friend. I don't mean to look down on you or anything of the sort. Like I said, it was mostly for my sake, right? You giggle softly. I understand. Still, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Of course, Yuri. And hey, if you'd ever like to talk about anything, don't be a stranger. I know I'm probably the last person you think of when looking for support, for being completely honest. But I'm trying my best. I awkwardly laugh as Yuri looks to the side. Sure. Let's catch up with the others. Because Yuri lives not too far from the mall, she decided to walk home. Natsuki, Sayori, and I, on the other hand, have to take the train.
Sleepy? Yeah. I could use a good night's rest too. What about you, Monica? How are you feeling?
A bit tired, but I can't complain. I'm curious about something though. Does Yuri always take the train and walk home by herself every day after the meeting?
She does, but I walk home with her sometimes if I'm not needed at home. I'm a little worried about her since she lives on her own these days.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Did her parents kick her out of the house or something?
No, nothing like that. At least, I don't really think so. Anyway, Yuri had some loss in the family, and that house was left to her Yuri and her will. I think it was her grandma or something. Someone she was really close to, I'm sure.
Huh. I actually had no idea about any of this. Well, she did seem to live alone since she had to make dinner and stuff. None of this information was anywhere in the game code, but the general, yeah, there was never this is more interesting way to do it. I'm not even sure why I'm surprised at this point. It's all become fascinating to me. Really? The whole house? Just like that? That's crazy. I mean, it's cool that she has her own place now. Although, I guess loneliness is a problem. I know about all that all too well.
Yeah, but... Oh, Sayori's gone.
Sayori's head now rests on my shoulder as she snores softly. Similar to a cat sleeping on your lap. I now refuse to make any sudden movements.
Anyway, yeah, I do worry about her sometimes, given that she's alone at home all the time.
Maybe should ask to go over to her place, just to see how she's doing.
You know, as much as she'd probably seem like she wouldn't want you to, I'm sure she'd appreciate the company. I can't go as often as I would like to. You know how unpredictable my dad can be with these kinds of things.
Right.
I just worry about her. She's a lot going on. But I won't get into any details. Would you just give me some
peace of mind knowing that she has someone to check up on her every once in a while. I totally understand. I'll ask about it tomorrow. Thanks! That's really nice of you, Monica. There's the club president I know and love. Just trying my best. Transition to the next day. I don't know why I made it a habit of always saying transition.